What's present for us as we begin? Maybe some thoughts, some feelings, some sensations. It's checking in. How am I in this moment? This moment unlike any other moment. And including a sense, if you haven't already, of ground, how your body meets the support of gravity under you. So feeling your seat, your feet, places where your body makes contact with what you're sitting on. Can you sense the support of Mama Earth under you? And is there a sense of being able to rest into that support? Settling into it. And as we rest into ground, the support of Mother Earth, is there also a sense of breath? How the breath moves through the physical body. The filling and emptying of the breath of air. And is it possible to rest in the breath in this moment? Noticing how it is in this moment to be resting into the breath, ground, settling in the physical body, settling, softening, deepening, arriving a bit more fully into this moment. As we're settling here, there may be a sense of beginning to dissolve, to soften some of the more physical structures of the body. Maybe more of a sense of fluidity. Perhaps a sense of midline, mid-space, core of the body, around which all the rest of the tissues are organized. and orienting to the fluids, fluidity. There's the fluid of the physical body, the blood, the interstitial fluids, fluid inside the cells, cerebrospinal fluid, as well as lymph, all kinds of fluids. They're all one resonant stream. And they have an energetic field, the fluid body, extending out beyond the physical body and its boundaries. Extending out 20, 30 inches, 50 centimeters or so around the physical body. Fluid midline in the center that actually runs up and down the spinal canal, the dural tube. Especially the spinal canal is a fluid center line. And you may have a sense of a tidal movement, a rhythmic movement within the fluid body. So an inhalation, a sense of building. Its potency builds, a sense of rising up midline, widening out, filling, expanding. "12 to 15 seconds, and probably a pause at the end of an inhalation, and then going back in exhalation, back in and down, in towards the midline, narrowing, returning in and down towards the earth, settling. There may be a sense of a stillness, again at the end of the exhalation, pausing, and then a building, starting to rise up and fill in inhalation of the fluid tide, mid-tide, as every cell of the body is filled with potency. Potency filling the entire fluid field. Rising up, extending out, widening, filling. Pausing at the end of the inhalation and settling back down and in exhalation. We can rest in this fluid tide, mid-tide. We can also let our awareness widen from midline out and beyond the boundaries of the physical body, even out beyond the boundaries of the fluid body or field, out towards the horizon in all directions. staying with the midline and widening, we may begin to have a sense of the rhythm, the very, very slow, constant rhythm of long tide. In exhalation, there's a very, very slow streaming in towards the midline, as if from out beyond the horizon. And in inhalation, a streaming out towards the horizon. Very slow, constant, 50 seconds each direction. Long tide is always there as a resource, undisturbed, always present. Spacious. There may be a sense of suspension. There may be a sense of light, sparkliness. And there may be a sense of something faster happening within that field, like a wind moving. The breath of life, knowing where it's needed. Can we rest in this wider, slower, larger tide? The long tide, the large tide. As we rest there, we may have a sense of stillness, an even deeper level of awareness, perception. We may be aware of a stillness, like the space between an alive and dynamic stillness. A stillness that is always present beyond the sense of even the slowest rhythm of the long tide. And there's the possibility of resting in that stillness. And you may continue to have a sense of that stillness but also be aware of the very, very slow rhythm, streaming of long tide and its vast field. It's like it streams through the stillness. There may be a sense of mid-tide, fluid tide, sense of building, rising, filling, a more embodied sense of the breath of life. Potency and embodied form of life energy filling every cell, filling the fluid field. Bringing the intelligence with a capital I to our physical bodies. And there you may begin to be aware again of the breath of air, the physical breath that moves in through the nostrils down to the lungs, filling, expanding. You may be aware again of the weight of your body, where your body meets what you're sitting on, your feet. As you're ready, as you're able, letting this physical body start to move and stretch however feels good to you. Can we appreciate these physical bodies that we've been granted? The possibility of moving through space and interacting with this remarkable physical world that we live in without forgetting our source, our more energetic dimensions. And when you're ready, letting your eyes gently open, looking around the space that you're in, seeing the colors and shapes and textures of this physical world that you're in. Can you still feel the magnificence of the breath of life? Perhaps even a sense of the buoyancy of the mid-tide, its fluidity, its potency, a sense of the suspension within the long tide, always supporting us, even while we're here in this physical world and while we're here with each other.